Now you can do it. You shouldn't do it, but you can do it. What's up everyone? Mike here, Rusty Garage and Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. It has occurred to me that I have not yet put Tiny on video moving any hay around. So today that's what we're going to do. I've only moved one hay bale with Tiny up by the road just for a decoration for the wintertime right now. And all I've got is pallet forks. I don't have a hay spike for that tractor yet. So the hay spikes are just going to have to do. So the plan is I'm going to pick up all these through here. These are all 4x5s. I'm going to go and pick up one of these bales here and see how it does with the pallet forks. And then we've got a little bit of hay in last year's pile, some 4x6 bales that we're going to pick up with Tiny, or attempt to, and see how well it does. And I've seen this machine pick up 2 4x5 bales before in a video, so I don't suspect the 4x6 bale is going to be really any issue. But you can see, here's some 4x5s, that's last year's, and then we jump up to the 4x6 bales all down through here. But the green 4x5 bale that I moved around, Tiny had no issue with it. I don't suspect there'd be any other issues with any of this hay, but I would like to put it on video just in case anyone's wondering if this is the kind of machine they have, that they can still move hay with it. Now, if all you had is a compact tractor, 25 horse, 35 horse, below, they do cater. There's a lot of balers out there that make a lot smaller bales than what I've got here. And there's balers that make bigger bales than what I have here. But if you're running a little hobby farm, just have some goats, a few cows, something like that, you can get 2x3 bales. You can get 3x3s, 4x4s. They make all sorts of different balers to fit different needs. And I really think as of late, with a lot of city people moving out to rural America and wanting to start a farm, wanting to start a little homestead type deal, that the market for a lot of these smaller balers is just increasing. So small tractors, small balers, I mean, you can do exactly what large farms do, just on a smaller scale. But before we do that, we're going to do a quick little install, super quick install on Tiny. So let me show you that. So the other day I put a video out about Tiny where we upgraded the step that was sent to us from ITC Quick Attach, because the factory step, you know, you had like a couple inches before this part of the step would be up by the fuel tank. So not a lot of room. It was way close and slick. But in the comment section of that video, Heath from Hard Working Man mentioned that he misses his step on the right side of his Coyote, that it had to get removed because of his third function install. And it got me thinking, the factory step that I took off, it's just going to collect dust on the shelf till I get tired of looking at it, then it'll get tossed somewhere. But it got me thinking, would that step fit on the right side of this machine? Is it an option to put a step on the right side of this machine? So I came up here and looked, and let me show you all what I found. So on the right side of this machine, I'm sure that's supposed to be a plug like these two, these little rubber plugs, but there are 3 bolt holes here, and I took the factory step, held it up there to it. That factory step's going to fit just fine on this side of the machine. So I'm going to go ahead, pull these plugs out. The bolts, I went to Ace earlier, and they are M8 by 1.25, little short bolt. We're going to go ahead and put those in there, have this thing mounted, and you can tell there's no fuel tank right here, so the room to be able to put your foot up on here is not obstructed by the fuel tank. Okay, so pop these plugs out, little rubber plug, that's all it is. Get those out, get this wiped off. Wipe the back side of the factory step off. And then, you guys already know, put a little anti-seize on these bolts. Because, yeah, if you watch this channel any amount of time, you know, anti-seize goes on about everything. And it makes a mess, just like I did there. Okay, anti-seize. That's like rubbing up on your tractor after you grease it. And y'all can see, like I said, fuel tank's not in the way. You can get almost the heel of your foot up on here. So that's a whole lot better than having that just sit on a shelf, having no use. I doubt I use that a whole lot, but occasionally I'll use it for something. All right, let's go move some hay. Okay, so I do have the fork spread out as wide as they will go on the fork attachment. I've fed hay before with pallet forks. Not a huge fan of it, but if that's all you got, it's all you got, and it'll work. Hay spike just makes your life a whole lot easier. So I think I'm gonna try to find they're all 4x5s, but sometimes you get little variations where some of them are just a little bit taller. Looks like maybe this one. Okay, nah, we'll go with this one just for the lighting. So I've got an open row right here. I can set the camera up right here and we should be able to see everything we want to see. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it in 2-wheel drive, leave it in B range, and let's just see if we can pick one of these bales up, pick it up high, pretend we're gonna set it on top of some other bales, and just kind of see how it does. Okay, so you guys can see, not too bad for it. I think if you were stacking hay, which we don't hardly ever stack hay, we did that a few times. If we had a hay barn, we would stack our hay, but when we stack it, there seems to get too much moisture trapped in the lower bales and ruins a lot more hay, so we don't do that anymore. But okay, you guys can see 4x5 bale, no issue. Not too bad. Yeah, this machine handles this bale just fine. No issue. I don't know how it would be if you didn't have ballast in the tires or a backhoe on like I do, which I've got both. The rear, it doesn't feel light at all. So, I mean, again, these are only 4x5 bales right here, not that heavy. 5x6s, that's probably about the biggest bale that we would get in our area. I don't currently have any 5x6s, but as soon as I can get a hold of one of them, we'll try the same thing, see how it does on a 5x6. The only thing I can see is you just kind of want to be easy with your controls, but stopping, bouncing a little, but nothing too awful. Time for a thumbnail. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set this down and let's move up there to some of those 4x6s. Okay, you guys seen 4x5, it didn't bother it at all. These 4x6s, I don't suspect we're gonna have any issues picking them up. We'll see how the rear feels. The bottom of these bales are the net wrap. I think I shared it in a previous video. The net wrap's kind of decomposing and breaking down sooner than I'd like it to. This is last year's hay, so we may end up losing a little bit whenever we go to pick one of these up, but still, should be fine. Should be able to retain more hay using pallet forks, picking it up from the bottom, than you would with the hay spike from the center. Set you all up right over here. I think it'll be fine. But again, this bale, yeah, it's old, so it's settled. but I'm 5'10", and it's pretty close. So quite a bit of weight here, but let's see how it does. There's a 4x6 bale. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way, just because it is a little tight with the big tractor to get in here and get these bales on the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this one right over here in a second row. I might go ahead and grab a couple of them, just so the big tractor's not having to come in here where it's a little tight, and we can just pick them up from right over here. So let me move y'all right over here. We're just gonna set them right back over here. Okay, well, I think we've got more than enough room to get the big tractor in here now. We got these 3 bales moved down. It did fine. You could definitely feel the 4x6 bales a whole lot more than the 4x5. The 4x5 didn't feel at all. 4x6s, I never felt like the rear was really getting light, but where that hay sits, that ground gets pretty soft, and the front tires were, I could feel them sinking in a little bit until I got out of the row that we were feeding out of. But how do y'all think that machine did picking those up? Those, it didn't feel at all. Those, it did feel. Did that machine do better than you expected? Did it struggle more than you expected? You guys leave a comment, let me know down below. I think if I had this machine solely, I don't think I'd be baling 4x6 bales every year and using just that machine to feed them. And if that was the only machine I had, I would probably bale smaller bales, because I wouldn't want to feed hay with this multiple times a week, picking up these 4x6s, driving them 1/4 mile through the timber, across the pond dam, stuff like that. It's just not the best tool for the job. They make better tools for that. Or if this is all you had, then buy the kind of hay that you can easily feed with a machine like this. Don't get 4x6 bales. Now, you can do it. You shouldn't do it, but you can do it. Anyways, everyone, really hope you enjoyed the video. Being able to see what Tiny can do with hay bales. Like I said, if this was the only machine I had, I would probably end up getting 4x4s. 4x5s would probably be okay as well, because it did handle the 4x5 no problem. Never felt light, never felt uncontrollable or anything like that. But I don't think I'd use this machine to feed 4x6s all the time. I think I'd do it, but probably not the best idea. So everyone, if you enjoyed the video, give the video a thumbs up, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. it.